Tech Talk is now online and offline.
Hello, everyone. Today, we're doing more CD robot nonsense. There is still a lot to do with this. We haven't actually got it working with my software yet, so that needs to happen still. We did figure out everything about how to control the robot, including something extra cool I'll get to in a moment. But I want to change the drives, and that's going to complicate some stuff. So today I think we're going to do some experimentation. And I'm kind of stuck waiting for something, another drive in the mail before I want to try and swap everything out, and I will show you exactly why that matters so much. But today we're going to kind of just go over some stuff with the project for how this is going to continue and what we need to keep doing.
15 raiders from Belgium have joined. And offline.
Ben and 15 raiders, hello and welcome. Why is there blue tape? Because this is an additional disc spindle, and this is the like orange peel texture paint, and when it drops a disc on there, I didn't want it to scratch it.
102 of me. And offline.
Chloe, thank you for the 100 bits. All right, so let's go.
AEPIN 247 has subscribed at tier 1.
No,
They've
Aleratec.
subscribed for 20 months. And offline.
Gpin, thank you for the tier 1 sub there, and for 20 months. I appreciate that. All right. HD DVD drive. Yeah, no. I'll go over which drives, well, which drive, period, I have in the mail. You know, you want to do that right now? I'll talk, I mean, there's a bunch to talk about here. You know what, let's talk about this really quick, all right? Okay, let's talk about this first. So we haven't actually had this over here for any reasonable amount of time yet to investigate and look at. So I want to do that so you can understand what I'm doing and why here. So this is how you get into the machine. Don't mind the paper, the floppy sleeves. I attempted to record a video talking about this and then decided against that. So actually there is no video this week, unfortunately. I meant to announce that to Patreon supporters earlier, but it's just not, there's a lot of stuff that's complicating my video production schedule right now, more so than if you are a supporter, even what I was talking about in Discord today. So let's talk about what's in here. And you know what, let me get the CD hoppers off of here as well. There's There are things going on here. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So these are the drives. They're Lydon model drives. Inside, they are black. What happened? The camera's on. No media detected. Oh, I know what happened. I hit the playback button. There we go. Okay. Inside, they are IDE. So that's how these drives are interfaced. Can you repeat that model again? Absolutely. They are Lydon.
Says CHEER 100 digital lens clock. End of line.
Chloe, thank you for the 100 bits. So that's how those work. To plug them in back here, you use a single USB 2.0 connector. Now this is important because the device is also controlled via a USB serial interface. These are actually all behind a hub. So there is a hub, the three IDE controllers actually, and then the serial adapter. That port up there is just on a tiny little breakout cable that then goes down below the chassis. Now, this is a top plate that is screwed on all over.
They've subscribed for 27
no.
months. And says, Dektalk, do you really want to repeat what I typed? I mean, of all the people in here, am I really THE1 you want to take commands from? Okay, you asked for it. Blah, 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 blah,
There
blah,
were FireWire
okay,
models,
I
yes.
got bored, end this line. End of line. THEWATCHER 2K3 has subscribed at tier 1. They've subscribed for 4 months. And says back again. End of line.
Dziak, thank you for the 27 months of Prime sub there. I appreciate that. And the Watcher, thank you for the tier 1 and for 4 months. I appreciate that as well. Great cable routing. Yeah, well, here's the thing, okay?
Raiders from Compatibility have joined.
Holy moly! Tube time and Raiders, hello and welcome. Hopefully your reverse engineering project was going well. I didn't have a chance to drop by, but I saw you announce that on Mastodon. We have actually been reverse engineering the software interface for this. This is an Aleratec Auto Publisher LS CD changing robot.
Blah, 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 again. Blah, 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 no. I can't do it to Shelby and chat. CHEER 100. End of line.
Thank you, Ben. Perfect timing. Oh my gosh.
It's all the CX fault. I have been instructed to say this.
I appreciate that tube time. Ben and Chloe, each thank you for the 100 bits. So this is a robotic CD changer. It has hoppers that you put along the front as an arm that could go in and clamp onto the discs and put them in the drives for you. I'm going to make it a CD ripping monster, but it was meant for Windows XP computer to run with a CD duplicator software. So I've actually fully reverse engineered the command protocol for this that operates over serial through a USB adapter.
3 months of tier 1 to Tapatimu. They've gifted 179 months in the channel. End of line.
First off, Helicroft, thank you for the 3 months of tier 1 gifted to Tube Time. It's a Tube Time, my apologies. So I use an actual real Dektalk hardware for my TTS. It butchers stuff.
I wasn't planning to hop on the blah blah train, but I guess I have to now by your command.
Stay hydrated, thank you for the 100 bits. So yes, I have all of the stuff published for how I have reverse engineered the communication interface for this thing. But now I need to make it better for CD ripping. This uses some Lydon drives that aren't that great. They have issues with things like pre-gap hidden tracks. And, yeah. So I'm going to be looking at replacing these drives here. So we're going to do some testing today. So what I was just getting to was talking about how this thing's internal infrastructure works.
Sleepy developer subscribed at tier 1. They've subscribed for 9 months. End of line.
Sleepy, thank you for the tier 1 sub and for 9 months. I appreciate that. What part of the hardware Dektalk is OG Cylon? Yeah, none. That came out a little before the Dektalk. Yes. So, the way it works is these drives are IDE. They each have their own USB IDE controller inside. There is a single port here that goes down to a large board that I have never seen because you can't access any of the control hardware from the top. I can take off this top plate, but that will only let me see the model of the disk drive because there's a sticker on the top. To get to anything on the bottom, we're going to have to flip the robot on its back and then take off all of these screws.
CHER 100. So we are doing a blah 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 train now by your command.
Fontre, thank you for the 100 bits. So yeah, we have to take off the bottom plate. We're not going to do that yet though, because what I have decided, although there is one thing I would kind of like to know, I don't know how it's going to work out. Maybe we do. You know what? Yeah, I want to know. Let's go ahead and take the bottom off. I don't know how this is going to work. I'm going to try... You know what? Let's try and rest it this way. Yeah, that puts the robot arm in the least amount of danger. So, I want to know how the USB serial interface works. If it is on a USB cable or if it's part of the same board that has the IDE controllers. I don't have any idea because no one has documented anything about how these things work. So, can you take all the screws off the big top plate? But then I have to remove the arm.
CHER 100. Take it off by your command.
Fontres, thank you for the 100 bits. So I just want to see how...
CHER 100. What in the hamburger display? Floppy optical card, plastic remote switch, glass screwdriver, controller, pliers, camera, keyboard, monosodium, glutamate, graphite, calculator, Centronics, scan, raspberry, cell phone, PlayStation, television, terminal outlet, lying router, punk power supply, schmutz. Chicken is with you people.
It's not like this all the time, I swear, for those of you who rate it in. Tater, thank you for the 100 bits.
Magic Contact says CHER 100. Dear Mr. Two-Time, I do apologize for butchering your name earlier, but Shelby just won't get around to adding the phonetic pronunciation I and redeem. This message is brought to you by your command.
Jaco, thank you for the 100 bits. Yeah, so I have an eventual goal that I want to have a point redeem here on Twitch where viewers can have a name substitution where you can use phonetic spelling, and then when it will just do a substring replace call on any text messages from that user to have their name pronounced correctly. Or maybe I should have it be all the time for like mentions and stuff. But yeah, at some point I want to do it, but I want to make it automated, so I have to update my API script for all that stuff in order to make that work. Man, there's so many little screws on this. Oh my gosh. This one's... I think that one's actually cross-threaded. That's gonna make this a problem. Yeah, that's... No, Deziac. There we go. All right, need a master SQLite? Nah, just use more JSON files. Okay. What are we looking at? We got, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? It's, there's just a straight up serial port going to the control board. So we can replace this whole thing and then just do serial to the, probably the original control board they designed in the 90s. Wow, you know, I sure feel dumb for not opening this sooner. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? I used Wireshark and Portmon to snoop the traffic from a virtual machine, and I literally could have just plugged in HP serial protocol analyzer.
247 SICHER 100. Pretty sure this was suggested on your first stream. End of line. The developer says CHER 100. The more you know by your command.
You gotta admit, though, it's not exactly elegant to get into it. There was a reason I didn't. Now you earned doing it the easy way? Yeah, no kidding. Oh my gosh. That's hilarious. I should put this back on the correct way so it looks better. There we go. Alright, well, I guess that's fine. We've already done all the snooping we possibly can, so there's nothing else to be gained. On the plus side, now we get to play with the HP protocol? No, because there's nothing else to snoop. We've gotten everything out of it possible. Oh, I was not expecting that. That's unfortunate. Doesn't matter yet, but the ARM is belt-driven. Why is it not just direct? Did they really need that, like, reduction? I don't... Weird. So, I mean, yeah, this is pretty simple. I assume one of these is going to be the prolific RS-232 chip. Yeah, that right there. Yeah. Can't be much simpler than that. So this goes to, wow, this is, like, I've made nicer things than this, and I don't even, like, they just took the flat flex, cut off the cables they don't need, and then, so, all that, why do we even need, we have to hold DTR low to make it work, but there's literally only RX, TX, and ground here. Like, it couldn't be much simpler. I kind of like their clever usage of everything here, though. So the Burge connector going for powering this with the IDE adapters. This is the external USB connector. Yeah, that board's obviously custom. I don't know what these jumpers are. I think there might be LED indicator headers that are unpopulated for something. Yeah, this is clearly all of the real brains, though. Man, I cannot believe it's just... It is most likely just straight up RS-232. I mean, we can power it and find out. I don't think there's any harm in trying that. Let's just make sure that ground is the correct pin on here, and that RX and TX also makes sense. And then let's try it. LED for IDE activity, yeah. Rip it all out, chuck it in Arduino? No, because we have this thing figured out. Make it Wi-Fi connected. I mean, that's the goal. There's plenty of room to stick a Pi in here. Okay, so ground will be pin 5. Looking good. Okay. Pin 2 will be one of these. And pin 3 will be the other. Yeah, that's just straight up DE9 RS-232. That's hilarious. Wow. Yeah, this is my own serial pinout thing. Actually, yeah, can we... Oh, no. I bet they took one of the internal PC header cables and cut it to make this. I bet that's what this is. How did you think it worked, though? So, if we look down here, we have a custom board that has the IDE to USB adapters. There's a USB hub chip down here, and then there's the USB to RS-232 adapter right there. I thought this board and this board were going to be merged together. I thought it was all going to be one. I did not expect them to like carry over some legacy design that did it this way. Like, I wonder if the early versions were SCSI, and then this would be a serial port, and then there'd be a SCSI header on the back. Because that would make total... You know what? I bet that is it, because if we look at the port where they stick USB, is that 50 pin Centronic size? Let me go get like a Terminator or something. Hold that up to there. So I bet that's totally how that works. Yeah. So this was originally a 50-pin Centronic SCSI with probably a serial port sticking out somewhere else. And then they adapted it to USB with IDE drives. Well. Then SATA, yeah, unfortunately I don't have the SATA model. Which brings me to what I want to do next. So, with that as a nice backdrop here, now we can go over options. So, first off, I don't have a serial adapter like to hand, but we're definitely going to adapt that. So these and these. This is a USB 3.0 to, just ignore the SATA part, IDE hard drive adapter. The idea here is that I could connect IDE drives like the ones that are in here to this, and then have a USB 3.0 interface. Now, we don't really need the USB 3.0 for IDE. I believe the 2.0 bus isn't that slow for it. And I would do that if I was going to put in drives like these Plex writers here. These are incredibly awesome CD drives. Unfortunately, they don't do DVD. And if I'm doing...
CHER100 no serial adapter to hand. Who are you and what have you done with Be Real Shelby? End of line.
All of my serial adapters are null modem, so they won't plug in to the female pins here. By that I mean, let me just go grab one and I'll show you. I'll need an adapter. Let's see. Oh, they're like all in use or something. Dang it. I mean, I guess I could just put a serial port on the... No, I want it to have it all internal. Oh, come on. I definitely have one. They're all somewhere in use. Are you kidding me? I don't... Yeah, so I actually don't have any handy. Anyway, all the ones I have are female ports like that are pre-null modemed inside.
CHER100 check on the Nova.
No, that only has 25 pin cables, so it doesn't have any adapters like that. Additionally, we're running that through the multiplexer, so no. There's probably one on the desk over there, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, anyway, thank you for the 100 bits, Vontrez, and thank you for the 100 bits there, Chloe. So, anyway, I only have 2 of these because I don't actually intend on using IDE. These are, I think, a much better option, and I picked the exact ones I did for how they work. Oh, so it would actually benefit from 3.0. Okay, that's good to know. But we're going SATA. So this is a USB 3.0, hopefully, because like I haven't actually tested it yet, SATA adapter, and you'll notice it's low profile. So drives that I fit in here, this will angle off to the side instead of straight out of the back like this does. Like these are enormous. I don't think that I would actually be able to fit this in there because this is the 40 pin. So that's the, yeah, it's slightly bigger. So the idea here is that I take a drive, plug it in like that, and then power actually goes in right there. We're going to need to make some barrel jack adapter cables. And then, yeah, I'll have USB 3.0. So I'll talk about these drives more in a second, but imagine we have 3 drives like this, all right? And we're going to make these all go in there. So the next thing I need is one of these. This is a hub. So we have 4 USB 3.0 ports, and we're gonna mount a USB serial adapter internally. Didn't come with power. No, it came with a 12-volt wall power supply, but we're gonna make an adapter to use the Molex connectors, so we don't have to like hardwire power inside. So 4 Type A ports in, which is gonna work great for these adapters because I can just plug it in, boom. Now this is a weird like desk clamp thing. I didn't care about that. There just weren't a lot of options that also...
Subscribed at tier 1. They've subscribed for 28 months and says 28 months TECHTA 5 NYA
This is all Amazon cards, 1010.
End of line.
What Waddington, thank you for the tier 1 sub and for 28 months. I appreciate that. Anyway, host in, female serial port, totally isolated, allows you to have a connector that goes in for USB.
They've subscribed for 28 months.
I didn't want a hardwired one.
End of line.
Industrious saying thank you for the tier 1 sub and for 48 months as well. 28 months as well. Anyway, yeah, Type C. That's what I said. Anyway, I wanted a port because it allowed me to get one of these, a USB Type C to panel mount. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna use the panel that's on there or adapt one, and then we're just gonna have a USB-C port on the back for this thing that'll give us SATA and serial, and it's gonna work exactly like it is or does right now, but it's gonna be SATA and USB 3 instead of IDE and USB 2.0. And that should work out a lot better. Now, we haven't actually tried ripping 3 discs at once with it over the USB 2.0 bus, but let's be real, it's gonna suck. Is that cable rated for 3.0 or cheap 2.0? I'm pretty sure it said it was like Type C 10 gig or some nonsense, but we'll find out. I haven't actually tested it yet. So yeah, I've had pretty good luck with the adapters, as long as they're straight through and have all the cables, or conductors. This one...
CHER 100, in fact, it will suck and blow at once. End of line.
Chloe, thank you for the 100 bits. All right, let's see, is there any rating on it? I don't know. Nah, it doesn't matter. All right. It's almost stuff space for Mr. Coffee and Mr. Toaster in there. Yeah. It'll be fine. I mean, worst case, I return this. It's not, I don't have to modify anything. That's the nice thing about all of this. It's all going to be completely plug and play. Said 10 gigabit, it's 3.0 rated. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. 10 plus CD drives won't max out USB 2.0. I'm pretty sure they will when reading at high speed, which is kind of the goal when you're ripping. So, all right. Here's why we're not going to work on this fully today. For one, apparently I need to order a USB serial adapter. So I might dig out one of the other ones and replace the one that is connected to the Deck Talk right now. Because the Deck Talk has one that's kind of ideal for this. It is just a... it's just a male DE9 port with a male USB Type A port that just juts out. And there's enough cable here that I could run this anywhere I want. So I think that'll be fine.
Next
anyway.
Subscribe with Prime. They've subscribed for 40 months. And says 40 months. Ha 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 ha. Let's go. By your command. What Whittington says CHER 100. Oh no, not our voice. End of line.
I don't know. I'm a cat. I don't want to deal with USB 2.0. I just want to make it 3.0 and SATA. Oh my gosh. Half of the stream is going to be
say
deck
you were
talk.
going to take something from the deck talk. Don't do that, dash, leave me alone. Don't let thy ass be my end of line.
It's not going to slow it down to the minimum speed. That's not how it works. Okay, Nakalak, thank you for the 40 months there. Thank you so much of Prime Sub. Waddington, thank you for the 100 bits. And GoGo Gadget, thank you for the 100 bits. Okay, let's talk about why we're not doing all the stuff yet today. So, I went through all of my optical drives and found all of my SATA drives. And I found these, which are identical-ish, close enough to not matter. Asus, they are DRW-24B1ST. This one is an A revision, this one is a C revision. Why does that matter? Because I tested them for pre-gap reading capability. Now, this is just one test. I am open to knowing more about how to qualify optical drives for use with tools like Redump beyond going to the Redump wiki.
Says, remember when Amazon used to deliver things like USB to serial adapters same day? What Whittington remembers CHER 100. End of line.
Elcroft. Whittington, thank you for the 100 bits. I want to know how to qualify a drive to be accepted for Redump without just buying one of the drives that they have already blessed, because they go for like $100+ on eBay, and I don't want to spend $400 on drives for this thing.
Please don't take our voice away from the dot.
Yes, I will unplug you.
Dot mo, please mo dot.
Yes, wahaha dot CHER 100. End of line.
For the record, I didn't intend to disable the deck talk. I was just going to replace the serial adapter in there with a different one. I'm not going to do it today because it will break all of the things. Didn't find any Track Zero hidden CDs? Yeah, I'm not surprised. They're not super common. Majenko, thank you for the 100 bits, and Waddington, thank you for the 100 bits as well. So, yeah, I'm not gonna, the 3.0 naming nonsense is insane. Yes, it is. Anyway, Asus drives, okay? Here's why I want to test these more and see how they work as far as Redump tools would be concerned. Because you can get these on eBay for $10 shipped right now. And if it can read pre-gap, it's probably going to be a better drive for reading stuff in general. So I ordered one more so we can have 3 identical drives. Why did I order another one? Well, I actually have, not that, that is the other Asus drive. I also have this LG, model numbers on the top. This is an LG GH24NS95. It also passed my pre-gap ripping test, so why not use it? I'll show you why. So, if I take these 2 drives and I align them so that the mounting holes are in the same horizontal position, which also just happens to be the body chassis length, you'll notice something here. The tray on the Asus drive sticks out a lot more. I'm going to put them like this now, realign them. I have them, no wonder that was messing me up every time. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 1 disc in each tray. And herein lies the problem. You see that slight offset there between the center hubs? That's not the camera being off angle, although it is slightly off angle and I can't fix it, so just deal with it. But if you look way down in there, you'll see the LG drive is it the one that's sticking out more? No, it's inset slightly. So in reality, it's actually a little bit closer to that without the camera angle, but they're offset. Now the drive only has 1 calibrated position for how much it needs to go in on the drive tray to properly release the disk. So my options are manually control everything about the drop position, or pay $10 and get another drive. Seems pretty easy to me. So there's another drive on the way so that we can do that. Pre-gap. So pre-gap is a different thing. Pre-gap is this. This.
UNI 100. Remember, kids, money solves all problems.
No kidding. Don't want to do any of this nonsense? Hire me. I'll do it for you. Anyway, thank you for the 100 bits. So, this is They Might Be Giants Factory Showroom. It has its track list, really confusingly laid out on the back. But on this CD, when you go to play track 1, there's actually data before the beginning of track 1 on the disc. So it'll skip to, let's say, here and start playing. But if you put this in a CD player and rewind it on track 1 to the beginning and start playing, also, hi, by the way, you'll actually discover there is a hidden track before track 1. Now, most PC drives hate doing weird stuff with discs, and it will read the table of contents of this disc, and we'll see that track 0 starts at sector 4575, and it will go, I will read that and no earlier, unless you find a drive like this that can read unlimited data back before the start of the track 0 table of contents position. So these 3 drives here are capable of that, which in my mind deems them acceptable as a first pass for what drives I will put in this machine when I start ripping. But the tray offset here means that I'm waiting for the other one to show up, because I don't want to get this thing built with drives that I'm going to have to remove. False naming, robot does this movement, Zio aligned the disk. Is this movement adjustable? Okay. The robot calls it short tray, so they consider, say, the Asus drive to be more accurate than the LG drive. And the LG drive may also exhibit the short tray problem. Let's find out. If I put this here, yeah, actually, that's a short tray. Oh, I didn't even realize that. That's kind of cool. Okay. This is now a total example drive that I don't want to install this machine and I want to use. On the Asus drive, if we stick the drive at the front of the tray and drop it, it clears the bezel of the drive. Now, the firmware or the original software for this machine has something that it calls short tray, and what it does, it pulls the disc up like this, lowers it down, and then wiggles it in from the front before it actually releases it. And I didn't know I had a drive that was an example of this, but if you put the disc in from the front that's in the correct position and then release it, it won't actually go down in because it catches on the bezel. Notice it does a shimmy, but I didn't know why it did that. This is why it was supposed to do that. I didn't know how common it was. Apparently, it's not that uncommon. Nothing a Dremel won't fix? Not really. It's not a great idea. Anyway, so we're just gonna not use that drive. Problem solved. Boom. I like my drives to, you know, let the CD fall in. So, yeah, anyway. Remove front bezel. That is an option, but no. Anyway, the drives having different drop points, like this one is farther forward than this one, and it's farther back. It's just not, we're not gonna use that one. So I'm waiting for the third one of these. That's what it comes down to. I can close this tray now. Okay. So we're gonna have 3 of this Asus drive in there. That's the goal. So we're not going to set this up today inside of here, but now we know what we're up against, and I definitely want to get a serial adapter in there. So would rather just take the bezel off. That does not solve the alignment problem. Because again, if you have 2 of the exact same CD drives, when you stack the drives, oh my gosh, this is like... Okay, let's look at it this way. This is Mr. Robot Arm, okay? Mr. Robot Arm only has so many calibration positions. One of the calibrated values is how far back it goes before it releases the disc. So we have our CD on the robot arm, all right? It's going to do two things. When it goes to drop a disc in the tray, it's going to go down, it's going to shimmy it in for the short tray, and then it's going to release it, okay? There is only one calibrated value for how far back in it goes for the tray.
CHER 100 domo arigato, Mr. Robot Arm. End of line.
Thank you, Jacob, for the 100 bits. I'm continuing. If we have different drives, or if we have different kinds of drives in here that require this disk be in different positions when it gets dropped, we cannot calibrate that. So there is no way to handle that correctly. It will drop the disk on the front of the tray of that short tray LG drive, and then the disk will get jammed like this, crunched in between the tray and the bezel as it goes in. This Shelby stream is made for kids. Why, YouTube? That is a problem. I have to fix that. So it doesn't matter what any of the, like, the options are for cutting the drive or whatever. We can't calibrate it to use that. No, it's marked as not made for kids. I don't know where you're seeing that. Yeah, you cannot joke with that. How can they ship it that way if it wouldn't? With the drives not lining up. This has 3 drives that are all exactly the same. It only needs one calibrated position because the depth between the drives is the same. What I'm saying is if I put in these 2 Asus drives right now, but then also this one LG drive, it wouldn't work. So we're not putting SATA drives in this today because I'm still waiting on the delivery of one more Asus drive. They put slots in the frame, mount the drives, different positions compensate for the drive offset. I'm not doing that. Theoretically, yes, we could do that. I'm not. If you have one drive, you operate them manually, alignment doesn't matter. I'm gonna go friggin' crazy. Okay. The short tray works differently than Hellencroft. All right, let's...
GOGOGADGET 360 SIZHER 100 we love you Shelby, I promise. End of line.
Oh, God, where do they move subdivide? Mesh. I don't know how I ended up with this selection circle. I hate it, though. They changed the controls, and it's driving me nuts. Anyway. Okay. One moment. All right. This is the software that we have created that drives the robot, all right? The only things that we do are move the arm, okay? That you control this over serial with commands. Now, the arm has to put the disks in the drive. One of the ways that you do that is by using this angle robot arm calibration value. This is one value. You cannot set this for multiple things. Any value after this in the calibration for the software controls the spindle positions or the arm for the different bins, okay? So there is one calibration value. What that calibration value does is calibrate where in the CD tray, in this axis, it drops the disk, okay? Now, if we have two drives like this that have different positions, okay, this drive tray needs, actually it'd make more sense to do this. This drive tray needs the disk dropped farther back than this one does. There is no way to calibrate the robot to do this. Can you recalibrate every time you put in a disk? In theory, yes. In practice, that would be stupid. So no. So this is why you won't want to ever put, if you build a ramp and stick it in the, yeah, okay, then you're dumb. That's, so this is why. There is only one value for the position for how deep into the tray it goes, all right? So, yeah. Yeah, or $10 drive. That's the thing. For $10, I don't have to deal with this problem, okay? For now. This is the complicated thing. All right? Let me show this. Redump compatible drives. Unfortunately, there are multiple ways to fix this and easy ways to avoid it. Yeah, it's best to just avoid this. Now, I think I want to use redump for this in the long run, not CDR DAO. but Redump only has their official calibrated, tested drives, whatever. It's basically just Plextor. But they do have 2 ASUS drives in there, which makes me hopeful that maybe this one that I'm about to try and use would actually live up to their standards. I don't know. There's also a bajillion of them on eBay, and they're dirt cheap right now, so I don't know. I want to know how they test drives like this, because they have a lot more in here that are, tested somehow, but they haven't decided to bless them by allowing them in. I don't know. It really seems like they only want to accept Plextors. But yeah, I would like to know how to test my ASUS drives here to see if they can be accepted. But yeah, that only using one drive type eliminates this problem, which is significant. They're in the pocket of big Plextor. Yes, old Plextor that doesn't make drives like that anymore. There is a zombie Plextor, but they don't manufacture their own drive mechanics anymore. They use Sony's, and no one likes those ones. Or slot loading drives, have it do the silly little dance. It totally could, but no, actually it couldn't work because it wouldn't be able to retract upwards in time. Anyway, the Plextor that had cooling fans, I don't know. Do the CD ones that I have in the karaoke duplicator have that? Impractical, yeah.
Says, plus when you are ripping or writing things, having the same drive with the same controller and D parts makes getting consistent results that are repeatable is what we want. CHER 100. End of line.
Yes. So that's the other thing is my software that I'm going to use this with, in theory, could handle having the different drives. But in practice, it would be way too big of a pain in the butt to set that up. So I want to have all 3 drives be equivalent. That's what I want. So anyway, that's why all the drives have to be identical. For this reason. Because apparently it's really important and really easy to get different trays. I didn't realize that. And I also just realized I didn't adjust the camera angle so you couldn't see me looking at you with scorn in my eyes through that whole process. I mean, it was happy fun times. Anyway, so basically we're done with this for today. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to just dry run test with the incompatible drive, the whole USB setup, because I want to make sure it works. You should order 2 more drives so you have a spare. I'm thinking about it, actually, because the other thing I'm thinking about is that the other Aleratec that's got the tray weird crazy thing, I'm thinking it might be worth trying to make a custom tray for these that can do the eject slide thing. Especially since they're so cheap right now. They may not be cheap after I inevitably make a video about this, so that's why I might want to order them sooner than later. Okay, they're equivalent from the factory, yeah. Pre-gap. I don't know why you keep saying gab. Gap. As in space between. And it's pre-gap isn't specifically the requirement. The requirement is that it can better read disks. But I don't know how to qualify drives for that capability right now. So I'm using pre-gap reading as a substitute for a proper drive qualification process. So that's why I'm doing that right now. Okay. Just for giggles, let me look up my order and see when that drive may be delivered. Because, if it's today, maybe I don't put this thing back together. So. eBay, that's it. Well, you're not stupid, it's just language is different. It's fine. Okay. Arbitrary track sector reading. I mean, that's the absolute bare minimum, but that's not quite how it works for all drives. Some drives, a lot of drives actually, will do arbitrary sector track reading, but only within the bounds of the, talk. Needs to look at a stack of 20 plus drives. Oh, I got you way beat. All right, the internet at the office has been utter garbage today. Maybe you want special drives to read strange formats, have the software. Yeah. While that's going, here, let me show you something. So way back there. All right. I almost did this week, and we still may do this at some point. These are my boxes of drives. Both of them are crammed full like this. And I kind of want to go through all of them and see what they can do.
Or a coon says fun Swiffy is cocked up funny that CHEER.
That one failed. It can't read pregap. When I look at mine, turns out you only have PETA drives. Yeah, almost everything that's left in those boxes are PETA. Anyway, there's no way it's gonna be here by tomorrow. Wednesday, next weekend. Okay. 2 boxes plus entire shelf. Well, I'm not counting drives and PCs. Yeah. How many of them are belt-driven? None? They might have the little belt for the tray, but that's nothing. Anyway. Alright, let's do our trial run. I want to set up all of the drives and then see how they work over this USB setup. So we're going to try simultaneously reading disks with them. Alright. Let me just... And then this, and this, and the C adapter. And then let me just chuck these drives. Yeah, I did lose internet over here, so I read chat off of that monitor now. Okay. So has this all beat anyways? I mean, in a way, yes. If you want the slowest possible drive, yes. Okay. So let's get this set up. For now, I am going to use the power supplies that came with the SATA adapters, and I have a power strip back here. So, first, here we go. Frame head space for 4 drives. Can the ARM do 4? Not and maintain the usage of, oh, hold on, of the reject spindle. It may be possible to use the 4th drive spot. I don't know. I haven't looked at the calibration data. Oh, I haven't given you guys the good news. I totally forgot. Boom. C6 is grab and release disk. So we do know how to 100% fully control the ARM. I figured that out on Monday. I came in and just started throwing every single command I could think of at it. I figured out a few more. Every command that it sends in the calibration process, except for C5D2, I've now determined exactly what it does. So we now have everything. So I could sanity, but I don't know. Maybe at some point. I mean, there's plenty of volume in it. It wouldn't even have to go in there. That would actually be the least convenient spot to put it. So, all right. Let's get this set up. Oh, that's a pain in the butt. They're not the polite ones that go off to the side, so I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to plug them all in. I mean, I would rather... I've talked about this before. I am probably going to build a Pi into it at some point, and then have the Pi have a remote-mounted network share, and then use that. Then the Pi will just be the interface. That is switched on. That's weird that it's not allowing me to eject the drive. Let's make sure it just works. Oh, the adapter needs the 5 volts to power the chip. Okay. By the way, these drives do actually require the 12 volts, these Asus ones. If I don't have the 12 volt power supply on, you can see it is not able to eject the tray. So we do have to have that. Okay. So the SATA adapters do work. All right, let's load them all up. Put a little touchscreen on top of the CD tower. You've seen the UI I've been designing, right? I don't want to type in all that kind of garbage from a little touchscreen. The whole idea is to remote access, control, and have a managed thing. Like, also, it's meant to load up 200 disks. I don't want to type in 200 disks worth of information through a touchscreen. Okay. 2 USB cables. I dropped one of the zip ties on the floor. Hopefully it didn't land in a power outlet. Webcam on the arm. Got a free USB slot? I don't. Unfortunately. But I won't have that connected to it anyway, because that will be a different process. Or should it be? I don't know. The serial port has to go on the 4th USB port. Yeah. 5-port USB hubs are a myth as well, so, because they're just hubs on hubs. Yeah. But, if I had a USB 2.0 webcam, because it's not like I need a high bitrate, whatever, 3.0 one in there, I could put the serial adapter and a 2.0 webcam on that. So, alright. Here are the 3 USB cables, the serial adapters. And here's what I'm going to do. I am going to ghetto cable braid manage these in such a way that will maintain their order. And then we can plug them into the hub. Need spark plug wire organizers? Yeah, no kidding. And for PC people, cable combs. Yeah, Baltazar, the 3.0 pins are on the front of the tip of the USB-A connector, yeah. Okay. So, hub is here. Let's assume that it matters or something how I plug these in. So let's do boom. Actually, this will probably determine the drive order every time, what order I plug these in. At least, hopefully. It'll suck if it's random every time. Is this some kind of proof of concept setup? Yes. I want to test the throughput capabilities of these ripping disks right now. To determine maybe this hub sucks and I want to send it back or something. And other things. Like, this is the power cable for the hub. We shouldn't need that in theory. So instead I get to use the high throughput cable here. So we're going to plug that in. But we're going to plug it in through this, which is the panel mount, to make sure that we get good data speeds through that. Okay, so host in to there, and then this actually has this little weird cap doodad. So we're gonna do something incredibly cursed here. I'm gonna plug this end into the cap. Oh, it doesn't fit because the cap's got a weird lip on it. Okay. We're skipping this cable from there. We're plugging this in here, and then this actually mimics the final setup. Now I'm remembering how this works. There we go. Plug that in there. So there's our panel adapter going into the hub, and then this plugs in over here, which is also plugged into a hub, but you know, just don't think about that part. And here we go, powering it all. Okay, all 3 drives came to life. Okay. Yeah, eventually they came to life. All right. Now, let me attempt ejecting these. So, you know, actually, I can do this, but then also do... Ah, no, get back here. They might be giants. This. Aha! Okay. There. Okay. Here, broken spindle bearings? No, they just power up real weird. Okay. So, eject. Dev, SR, what are our numbers? That's not good. One of them's missing. Cool. Unplug from the adapter. Relist, okay, and plug. Yeah, one of them doesn't seem very happy. I wonder which one it is. Cool. Yeah, we're missing one of them. Okay. Just eject each one. I mean, that's what I was gonna do, but now we're doing it to figure out which one isn't working. Great. All right. Well, let's try this. I'm gonna turn that off. I'm gonna unplug the SATA on the top one, and let's see if the bottom one comes to life, or maybe that SATA adapter is bad. So, connected. Oh, I think the SATA adapter's bad. No! Come on! It's the finest garbage China has to offer. This connector is kind of like bent up. I'm wondering if maybe someone bought it and then broke it and then returned it. Well, it doesn't work on that one. And if we put this one on here and bring them back. Wait, is that drive killing the adapters? Oh no, there it is. 2, 3. Okay, so the one that doesn't work doesn't work. Okay. And this is why the proof of concept test, because now we know I gotta return and exchange one of these. Yeah, so in case I didn't make it clear in my description, it's this one that's bad, and that one is also bent up. So it may have been damaged, and I'm a little concerned that this might work if I hold it down. No? Okay, good. At least it's not the drive. I mean, if it was the LG drive, no tears would be shed, because I don't want to use that one anyway. Just starting one of the returns. Hold on. Return or replace. Quantity 1. Yes, continue. Defective, doesn't work. How's the original packaging? The package looked good, actually. Package not opened. Cannot read drives using this adapter, period. Other of... This adapter cannot read drives, period. The others of the same adapter I bought do read drives. Dude, why did the second time it typed it in as read, like the thing that you put in woodwinds? But it also capitalized it. Alright, continue. How can we make it right? No, I don't want product support. Replace with the exact same item. I agree to send it back, sure. Continue. Alright, let's go with... Oh, they're not giving me the good option. Fine, that one. Let's read drive like Sport Drive Star Trek. Alright, there we go. Hopefully there's a new one on the way. Sanity, swap adapter from working to non-working drive. I just did, and the problem followed the adapter, not the drive. Move the power plugs between adapters. Oh gosh, you're right. Could totally be that. Which one is this going to? It's not going to that one. Okay, hold on. Off. Okay. It would be hilarious if it was just this 12-volt adapter that's bad. Okay. These ones can be the powered by 5-volt only, but we need 12-volt for the drives. Okay. And, yep, we only have 3 and 2. So. Yep. I cannot access the top, which has the bad one. How are we scamming Daddy Bezos? He scammed me. The thing doesn't work. So it's a USB SATA adapter, and it doesn't work. So let's go ahead and pack this one back up, I guess. Glad I did the twist tie thing now. No, the drive is not bad. It followed the adapter, not the drive. The adapter is bad. It's not the hub it followed. Well, actually, I didn't try moving it to a different port. That's a fair test. I doubted it's that, but it's a fair test. Would suck if I have to send back the hub instead. I've had good luck, so I need them very specifically to be low profile like this, because they're going in the CD changer robot. It's thinking about it. Just give it a second. Drive? What? What do you got going on there, Drive? Maybe these adapters are terrible. Maybe I should send them all back. Thank you for the 100 bits. What, Waddington? There we go. 2. Dude, I'm a little nervous. I should try reading with these things now. Maybe I shouldn't have done the return already. Yeah, so changing the USB port doesn't change it. Here, I'll plug that one in directly. No hub. Yeah, it doesn't work. No, here, so you can actually see. That's what I just did, 1010. Do the drives with the adapter actually fit in the drive bays? They should. They really, really should. To report anything in D-message. Nope. USB bus error severity correctable? Yes, by returning the item. You're right, Linux. Alright, let's get this out of here. Alright, glad we tested it though, especially before trying to cram it all in the case. I'm not interested in troubleshooting this further. It's bent, it's broken, is what, why? Why? Here's what we're gonna do instead. Here's a StarTech one. It's similarly low profile, but the connectors come out of the back, so it's not gonna be as low profile. So we'll just use this one in the meantime. And that'll let us continue on with the hub test. Missed out on an hour of content by staging this? What do you mean? It's not like I faked this. I'm not happy about this. Oh, I turned on the wrong thing. There we go. Okay, let's see if we get all the drives now. We got 2. One of them's taking a little while. I'm predicting I'm going to order 2 more, 3 more maybe of those Asus drives. Because one of these doesn't sound that great. When you create the program to auto-rip, make sure you're able to mark a drive as offline. That's already been done. And there we go. We got all 4. Eject 2, which should be this one. Boom. We got 3, which should be this one. Boom. And we got 4, which should be, of course, bingo. There we go. All right. Oh, it's Anchor, not StarTech. So, okay, now let's test the hub and ripping and all that fun stuff. Are the CD drives CD only or are they Blu-ray? They are CD DVD. They are not Blu-ray. And I don't think I should try and get Blu-ray ones because I don't want to deal with... I don't know what the crossover is between Blu-ray and good CD ripping capabilities. And I have a feeling there's going to be like 2 drives that are capable of doing it and they'll sell for like $300 on eBay. And since I don't want to spend $1,000 on this, I don't think that's going to happen. Okay. I'm going to load this up with CDs, just audio CDs, and we're going to start trying to rip all of them at once. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Because you all haven't actually seen the current revision of the software in operation and how well it works. So let's do a full setup so you can see how good this is. Okay. Let's go. Hi, disk rip, git, pull, origin, web, just to make sure. Oh, internet's still sucking. Hold on. Great. Need to reboot the Pi. Hold on. When will we get Google Fiber? I don't know. I wish I knew. I know I can use disk ID. That's going to be up to the user for how they configure the thing. Reverse engineering went well. It is fully reverse engineered. Yes. Let me just close all of these. That way you can see it in real time how it works. There we go. Okay. So let's do home. Let's do a full setup here, all right? So let's do archive. We're going to make a dir, mkdir, 3 drive. Okay, cd, 3 drive. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run disk rip, and I'm going to pass a no parameter blank string setting, and then I'm going to put this in settings.json. Now we're going to edit. Actually, we'll do this in Kate, so it's like you guys can actually see what's going on. Mod them, different color LEDs. Okay, I hate that, but I love it. I've actually done that before. I had a desktop where I wanted all things on the desktop to have blue LEDs because I was an idiot. So I modified every single peripheral in that thing to have blue LEDs. So I have actually done that to an optical drive before. How goes the battle? Turns out one of the USB SATA adapters was bad. So that was fun. Okay. Let's go top, which is SR2, and then 3, and then 4. Okay. Middle. Bottom. All right. They're all type optical. They're not involved in a group. We don't need a controller, and that web setup works. Output will just be output. Watch will be dot input. That's right. I am making it a hidden directory, and we will go ahead. We'll leave FIFO false for now. Okay. So now what I can do is I can just get rid of the blank parameter and the pipe, pass W for web, and what did I mess up? Line 23. This. Okay, what did I mess up? Optical. I have a JSON error somewhere, and I don't know what it is. Is it this? I hate JSON. All right, fine. Okay, so here is the current version of the web interface. Let me just go ahead and disable Dark Reader for the moment so you see it as it is. Okay, we have 3 status indicators up top. When you hover over these later on, it will tell you what the current status of the drive is. I'm going to work on replacing this with a table that puts the status in a text box under it. Over here we have 0Q, and then in the middle we're going to have the actual things we're going to rip here. So the first thing we're going to do, if you look at the settings thing I just did, these are all in group CD DVD, all right? So what I have to do is just use group CD DVD, and then I do not need to manually specify drive. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to rip 3 discs here. I'm going to rip They Might Be Giants Factory Showroom, Crazy Frog, and Foo Fighters, Color, and the Shape, okay? So let's do this factory. Okay, we don't need to change anything else. I'm just going to hit enter and then realize that doesn't work. I have to click start rip. Okay, so it's now telling me to put factory, here we go, factory into drive SR2. I need to figure this out so that we can use the drive name because it will know that it's top CD DVD, but also if you have the name there, it's that. So there's that. Okay, then I'm going to set foo as another one. Boom, start rip. You'll see it ejected that. Middle drive here is now saying, please put foo into there. The table is working, by the way. Those are the media sample names. And then in the bottom, we'll put frog. Boom. And there we go. The bottom tray. Now they're all blinking, waiting for their stuff. So we'll put in the top tray, factory. We'll put in the middle tray, Foo Fighters. And in the bottom tray, I will put frog. There we go. And I'm not going to touch the software anymore. I'm just going to close the trays. Hey!
Sleepy developer says CA.
I don't know what just happened with the deck talk. But Sleepy, thank you for the 100 bits. So why is only factory ripping? Why? I'm not sure, but I think this one keeps restarting. Yes. So this is ripping. Oh, it's not ripping. Why is it not ripping? Oh, there it goes. It must have taken forever to use the internet to get the CDDB. Huh. Maybe I'm returning all 3 of these. Or maybe this hub is garbage. Well, we can test the hub. All right, well, let's just can the whole thing. Close session. And then I'm just going to turn it all off. All right, we're not going to use that hub. We're going to use a different hub down here. And we'll see if it's that hub. Okay, so that one's active. This one is well, I mean, pretty obviously active. And the bottom is now active. It could also be the pass-through Type-C adapter, the panel adapter. So if this works, then we'll eliminate that and see if that works. Okay, now I'm going to eject all of these. There we go. One power source for all? No, they all 3 have their own. There's a power strip here. It's just like a, you know, nightmare monster of 12-volt power supplies. Okay, let's rerun the command. All right. Refresh. This is detecting the old rips, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through here and delete those. And now, there we go. Okay. Seeing why the robot company built their own bespoke data card. It's really nothing. I mean, they validated the USB IDE adapters, but that's about it. All right, so let's try this again. Factory. Enter doesn't work yet. Start rip. It needs to go in the top drive. Then foo. Start rip. And then frog. I'm just going to wait for that one to turn yellow. That's right. Frong. No, frog. Just keep it simple. Okay. Ooh. I'm not filtering non-file system names or characters. Good luck, everyone. Thank you for the 100 bits, Waddington. I thought I was filtering that word. That's a little weird. All right. So let's close some trays. And see what happens. Oh, that's looking pretty good, actually. Uh-oh. So it might be the hub or the adapter cable. That's looking pretty good so far. It's ripping two of them. Bottom two are going. We know They Might Be Giants takes a while to CDDB. Oh, I hear them approaching rip speed. So the two ASUS drives are doing the ASUS drive things. Drives get their 5 volt from the USB data cables. You want to properly power the hub. Aw, man, you're right. Okay, we can kind of do that. That's a valid test. All right. My other hub has USB power pass-through and has like a real power supply, so I'm just going to use their USB power cable and plug it into the other hub, though. There's a power-only port on it that I'll try. This will be annoying. CDDB is dead. I'm actually using Music Brains. All right, there. I got Music Brains for Factory Showroom. It should attempt a rip here in a little bit. I don't know why it hasn't yet. It might be, you know, actually we're putting Factory Showroom into the one drive that it's not really good in. Oh no, that one is capable of ripping. I don't know what's going on. Log. Let's look at what we have going on here. That's the command for disk info. Okay. Well, I mean, one of them's already finished already. Good grief, that was fast. Holy moly. Did it actually, like, make real progress on Crazy Frog? Why is that one going so much slower? They're the same drive. Weird. The only drive that didn't just work was the LG. And I'm not even sure what it's doing. So yeah, middle finished. Huh. Yeah, but GNU-DB then changed the API, so all of the existing tools are broken. So, why bother? Just go to Music Brains. Error check is CD paranoia mode. I set it to 3, which might be why Crazy Frog's taking so long. I want to know... Oh my gosh, it's now starting to rip Factory Showroom? Why? I want to try putting factory showroom in one of the two Asus drives. Good grief. Yeah, I still don't know how to do the byte string thing. It'll recognize a hidden track, for sure. This drive should. I mean, I guess it's going. Yep, there's our bin. Oh my gosh. Why? That's awful. Oh no. Is Crazy Frog a Blue Book disc? That could explain why it's so weird. Dude, this byte string thing drives me insane. Session 2 starts at... Ah, it's got an ISO session. Ugh. Great. That is probably why this is taking so long to rip. Factory showroom might be taking forever because of the weird table of contents. And this is why my test discs are so weird. We can do something more normal. Poking the ear with a sharp stick is not Blue Book. Neither is Devo with the CDDB. Devo, it's Super Cop. It just has... By the way, I don't think I actually mentioned this. So this is the CDDB collision test. It doesn't collide on Music Brain somehow. Maybe the other disc hasn't been ripped yet. Or maybe... I think this one does get recognized. Anyway, why do I own the Super Cop soundtrack? Can anyone guess? Because it is the weirdest thing ever. I accidentally gave you a hint already. Thin CD? No. Because you have no taste? Oh, it's weird. It's weird. But not Al. It was slipped in the back of a Byte magazine box? Nope. I bought it intentionally. One of the very few collisions, it's not for that. I found that out by accident. We can kill factory showroom because I don't need to rip that right now. Yes, G-Pin, but it's not. That's the thing. It has a Devo cover of a Nine Inch Nails song. It is Devo covering Head Like a Hole. Yeah, Redshift, exactly. Isn't that weird? Yes, Desiac. Is it good? I mean, should I type while driving so you beat me? Yeah. It's unique, I'll say. And that's not in a bad way. It's just, it's different. Okay, so what did we learn there? That I probably just want to go get 3 Red Book discs and repeat that test, actually. Okay. Super Cop should be just Blue Book or Red Book, and Poke in the Ear is Red Book. So we'll replace Factory Showroom and Crazy Frog, which didn't eject. Excuse me, Crazy Frog. We'll get the 90 Sales cover of Whip It. All right. Reasons bought a SAC copies, bonus discs with a collection of A-League word covers, MIDI blues. You buy that soundtrack because Devo covered Nails, but no, you won't go see Nails with me. I mean, they're two very different things. One of them I have to leave the house. The other one, people can bring it to me over the internet. Okay, so we're leaving Foo Fighters in. And we're going to put... let's just redo this. Let me delete all the outputs. Other 5.1 mix. Ooh, nice. All right, reload that. Refresh the page. Okay. So, Super Cop will go on top. And then we'll leave Foo Fighters in the same spot so I don't have to move it. And then we'll put Poking an Ear with a Sharp Stick in the bottom. Try the powered hub? No, because I didn't really count. I don't count that as like a successful test on the last one. All right. So Super Cop up top. You know, I just realized the CDDB collision doesn't matter at all now. This doesn't need to be in here because CDDB is dead. Let's take drive offset into account. Not yet. Actually, this directly runs CDR-DAO, so all you have to do is just swap out CDR-DAO for redump and do whatever you want. I mean, that's... My software does not directly rip a CD. It uses other software to manage ripping CDs. Mine is more about the metadata capture process and then controlling the drive changer. Also, desyncs... yeah, SSH, yeah. Also, it supports other things like directly accessing a grease weasel, so it has a larger scope than just CDs. All right, let's see if it actually rips all of these at once or like what. It'd be funny if I get access limited by Music Brains, and that's the problem. Poking an Ear with a Sharp Stick will not have a Music Brains entry, so that one might actually crash and burn now that I think about it. I think I fixed that, though. So we'll see. Okay, so those two are ripping. Of course, I put the weird disk in the top drive again. No, that's Super Cop up there, so that one's ripping just fine. Right? No, why not? Foo Fighters is ripping again. Time to give it a Music Brains entry? No. For so many reasons. No, their Super Cop goes real slow. Why? Well, at least it's going way faster than factory showroom. Yeah, Poking the Ear may not be working because of the lack of CDDB info. Blah, 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 blah. Did this throw an error somewhere? So, found disc with 15 tracks, found disc with 13 tracks. There we go, found disc with 99 tracks. Okay, so Foo Fighters is done again. Is this because it's USB? No. I think maybe we shouldn't use Poking the Ear with Sharp Stick. I'll go, you know what? How about the CD plus G disc? That one's somehow more normal. I think this one just might be going, I hate you all. So it's still ripping Super Cop. but that's going to take forever for some reason. Wonder if that drive has rip lock on it. I didn't actually test, Well, Ben, I didn't have any within arm's reach. Oh, wait, I got the weirdo tourist trap discs and Pops in Space. Okay, let's just put those in. Not even use the CD plus G one. It's normal-ish, but, like, just not. Okay, we'll keep Foo Fighters. We won't keep the other two. Although Super Cop really should be good. Rip lock only applies to audio CDs. Alright, get Super Cop out of here. Poke in the Air has 99 tracks with like 400 and some track indexes. CDs are not usually affected. Well, that's not true. It just straight up isn't. Wait a minute. Oh, there it is. Ah, here we go. How do you test if a drive has rip lock or not? I'm presuming the answer is you can't. Because this is a LG WH16S40. This is a Blu-ray drive. We'll go ahead and give it best case scenario with Foo Fighters here. CDs do not have region lock. I'm just going to modify my settings file here real quick to only have one drive. Rerun this. F5. Foo lock. Start rip. All right, so this was the one that ripped first every time before. And there you go. About 0.5 megabyte a second. Okay, well now it's picking up. That's still like 3 megabytes a second. That is embarrassingly slow. So, very sure that that's a rip lock drive right there. Either that or it's just garbage. But I feel like that's got to be rip lock. I know, I was just, I had the wiki page open right now. Really? Why do modern CD drives have to suck so much then? It's so frustrating. If that's really what it is. You know, I don't remember if I've done the pre-gap test on this drive, actually, while I have it connected. Let's just find out. That's a no. Okay, easy enough. Ah, awesome, Vontrez. Good luck, 'cause I'm not sure about the one you got. I don't know. Okay, let's try this hub again, but with the power thing plugged in. Although, we didn't really get like a resounding... Yeah, actually, let's not do that yet. Let's put the pre-gap LG drive back, and then test this with nothing but Redbook, pure boring discs. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Because we haven't done that properly yet. We don't have a lot of time left either. We're probably continuing this tomorrow. Okay, I'm just going to clear everything in the output folder. Restart the server. Boom. Okay, so in the top drive, let's mix it up. Let's put Foo Fighters in the top drive. There we go. Put Paris in the middle drive. And we'll put Pops and Space in the bottom drive. I don't want to save anything. Hey, bottom drive, what do you got wrong? Uh-oh. What? There was something in there already. Uh-oh. What's in there? Last track. No, it's got poking the ear with a sharp stick somehow. There is no wiki for the the Robo Racer, and additionally, the Tech Tangents wiki is different. That one's not Caps wiki. Only I edit Tech Tangents wiki right now. I'm gonna have to pull out this one. Yeah, hopefully your AS is just as barbaric inside as this LS, and there's just a USB cable plugged into a SBC in there. Paris is still not ripping. I wonder... I'm going to let Foo Fighters finish and then just be hands off and see if one of the other two starts after this. If the USB interface could be congested. Disk not found or bad response. Is that going to be poking the ear? Paris got a disk ID, so that's a thing. So it's got to be poking the ear. Okay, I gotta try and just kill it all again. Okay, they're all three off. Powering them one at a time. Yeah, you know what, Dizzy? Let's just try Foo Fighters in each one at a time. Although, we only have 3 minutes left. Okay, give me poking here. We don't want this one going anywhere near any of this again. Yeah, we definitely need to test this more tomorrow. if it turns out these adapters just suck, like, completely, for the limited time we can use the other ones that are more complicated that also do the IDE. Okay. Okay, I'm powering off and repowering. Is your script waiting for a rip to finish before starting another drive? No. It should run all three of them concurrently. Okay. Eject. Okay, it is 2. Okay. Boo. Start rip. Okay, let's see what happens. The disk is already in there, so it should just go. It would have to be SATA extension cables, Vontrez, and those are a little weird to get a hold of. Wait, why does this one rip slow? Oh, no! Do I need a very specific firmware revision, too? Because the two drives are technically slightly different. Oh, there it's picking up. What's it gonna reach? That's not great. Ugh. I'll see what the firmware match is for the other one when it gets here, I guess. And then I might order more if it's the faster version. At the very least, we'll have 3 physically compatible trays. But that is functional there. Alright. Weird stuff going on. Well, alright, I think we can call that. Okay. Well, I am glad spent several streams on scanning setup because it was secret cache of... Last time we spent several streams on the scanning setup, it was because of secret cache. We scanned soon. Is there a massive pile of super secret CDs lurking just off camera? No. No, there's not. This is just something... I was inspired to look on eBay again for the CD robots, and there was the listing that had the 2 Aleratechs at once. And I just wanted... I wanted to finally have one of these, and then it was complicated to get it going. That's why we're still working on this. So I want to make this usable, but I don't have a specific end goal. It's really just ripping, like, my collection stuff. So, yeah. But, alright. Yep. There is, potentially a secret document scanning thing that I'll be doing, though. And that is all I will say. Anyway, it is time to wrap up the stream here. Let's go ahead and connect to the server so I can run the outro. Now you've torn it. Hopefully I don't tear it, because there's only one known copy on the planet as far as I'm aware. Teasing. Not here tomorrow. You'd live to regret that teaser. Oh, to make it clear, I don't have it in my hands yet. I'm still negotiating it. So, yeah. Anyway, it's outro time. All right. Well, I don't think anyone will have enjoyed that stream. It was more just like bringing everyone up to speed and then planning our future project activities. Kind of frustrating that the SATA adapter didn't work, but this is why we test. So that had to happen. That was we're not really done testing yet. We definitely still have more to go that we will finish tomorrow. I want to see 3 drives ripping disks at one time. So I don't want to stop until we see that and figure out which parts may be bottlenecking what things. If I have to swap out the USB hub, I will. Tomorrow before stream, I think I will crawl under the desk and I'll route a USB 3.0 cable to one of the ports directly on the motherboard of the computer so that we can not have to go through the hub that I'm going through right now. And then when we use the other hub later, I'll use it through that. For now, the hub that I'm using, that I've been plugging the drives into currently, not the one that I bought that will go in this, has power buttons on it. It allows me to turn the drives off and on, which has been very handy for selecting which ones are active or not. So anyway, yeah, more work to be done on the drive stuff. We will be able to upgrade this, I am quite sure, but yeah, it's going to take a little bit of work. So we'll keep plodding along on that. But that is it for now. So yeah, if you enjoyed this stream, you may want to follow to be notified when I go live again next, which will be 20 hours from now. If you want to help support the channel, you can find me on Patreon or get a shirt like this one. But that is it for now, and I will see you next time. And printer button.